Now that, good afternoon from the Bridge Meadow Stadium in Haverfordwest. My name is Meilir Emrys and I'm here to bring you Sgorio's English language coverage of this vital Cymru Premier match between the two teams who are currently battling it out at the top of the league's secondary conference. Indeed, with only three games to go, 7th place Briton Ferry Llansawel and Haverfordwest County, who lie just beneath them in 8th, are separated by only a single goal in the race for the coveted final European playoff spot. After 29 rounds of fixtures, both clubs have 39 points and a goal difference of -3, but the visiting Ferry have found the net 41 times this season in comparison to the Bluebirds' total of 40. Iwan Sean, before this game, has been speaking to both managers.
It's a big game in the race for that 7th and final European playoff spot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Ferry are in really good form. They probably come here as favourites, really. You know, our last 4 games, we haven't been at the level we were earlier in the phase. I said last week, you know, it's been a long season, and some of the boys have played a lot of games, so we know we have to be at our best today to get anything out of the game.
You mentioned Ferry's form there, but you guys, you know, you've been there, you've won the playoff many times, so you've got the experience. Arguably, they're the informed team. Which one's going to count most today?
Hopefully it counts for us more today at home as well, but like I said, you know, Ferry are a strong team. You know, Tom Walters and young Anderson up top are a big threat, and you know, they've got big players throughout their team, so you know, we've got a few that maybe didn't turn up last week at Bala that need to put in a performance today to match Briton Ferry's threat. But you know, I'm pretty certain the boys will give everything they have today to try and finish the day in 7th place.
I would thought that little Briton Ferry would be here, to be honest with you. But no, it's a massive game. It's one that the boys are really, really looking forward to. However, we know how tough it is down here. We know what this group are and what they've achieved over this last couple of seasons. So, you know, all we can do is focus on the 90 minutes, do as best as we possibly can, as we've been the last 10 weeks or so, and see where it takes us.
Haverfordwest are known for their defensive qualities, but Tom Walters and Ollie Anderson are on fire at the moment. Are they going to be able to break this Haverfordwest defence down? That's the game plan? Yeah,
we'll see. You know, you're right in what you're saying. They're excellent in keeping clean sheets and doing really well as a defensive team. So that's our challenge today. We were down here not so long ago and scored 3 goals down here. Whether we can do that again, we'll see.
You're in, I think it's 1 defeat in 10. They've got experience in playing in these kind of situations, being to Europe, win the playoffs. What counts more, experience or momentum going into a game like this?
I think today is one of them games. It's one of them situations. It's one-off. It's like a cup final, innit? Because I think the truth is, whoever goes and wins today, you know, are in a real strong place to secure that 7th spot. So all those things go aside. Just get out there and be telling the boys to go and enjoy it, enjoy the challenge, and we'll see where it takes us.
Thoughts there of Tony Pennock and Andy Dyer before this game. Joining me in the commentary box this afternoon is Welsh Premier legend Tommy Morgan. Pnawn da, Tommy. It's a big game this afternoon. How do you expect it to go?
I expect it to be a pretty close encounter. I know Ferry won down there quite comfortably a few months ago, but certainly all the pressure is probably on the home side this afternoon, and Ferry have got nothing to lose.
2 good teams on 2 good runs. Haverfordwest won 5 of their 7 games since a split, and the visitors this afternoon are on a run of 3 clean sheets. In fact, they've only conceded 1 goal in the last 5 games. So we can expect Briton Ferry Llansawel to be tough to break down.
And they're tough to break down, but they have got, you know, 2 ace strikers in Anderson and Thomas Walters up front. So Haverfordwest will have to be at their best defensively to keep those 2 at bay.
Indeed. Both Ollie Anderson and Tom Walters scored on Briton Ferry Llansawel's last visit to Haverfordwest back in January, when the Ferry won by 3 goals to 2.
It's a perfect day for a game this afternoon in sunny Haverfordwest.
Yeah, fantastic conditions here down in Pembrokeshire.
Haverfordwest County takes on Briton Ferry. Your referee.
So, the team news. And Tony Pennock makes 2 changes to the side that lost to Bala a week ago. Midfielder Panashe Makwiramiti is away on international duty, having been called up for the first time by Zimbabwe, so Ricky Watts steps in to take his place. Corey Shepherd also starts in the middle of the park. He's found the net 10 times for the Bluebirds this season and returns after a 2-game absence. And here's how we expect them to line up on the pitch.
Yeah, certainly the return of Shepherd in midfield is a big boost for Tony Pennock's side, and Amoon and Kenniford and Hawkins, the 3 up front, he's hoping that they'll deliver the goods this afternoon. And it's quite interesting as he hasn't made too many changes.
And there's only 1 change to the visiting 11 as well, after Briton Ferry Llansawel extended their unbeaten run to 5 games with a goalless draw against Flint Town United last Saturday. The experienced Kieran Williams returns after missing the last 2 games. Young Dylan Packer drops to the bench to make room for him.
Yeah, certainly we've seen a graphic here of 4-3-3, but I would suspect that they might change that pretty quickly, with Bates and, not Walters, and Williams playing wide on the wings and looking to get the balls into the 2 strikers that we talked about earlier.
Today's referee is 30-year-old Jordan Harmon, who's now a resident of Cardiff. This is the 2nd time he's taking charge of both these sides in the league this season, and both the Bluebirds and the Ferry claimed victories on those previous occasions, so I'm sure both sides will be happy to see him in the middle again today. And he's yet to show a red card in 8 Cymru Premier games this term. So Haverfordwest in their familiar blue, attacking from left to right as we look at things in this first period. And there's an early throw-in, which captain Dylan Rees launches down the wing. Here he is again, the number 2. Bit of a loose pass back to the goalkeeper there. Early chance for the visitors. And Ricky Leowen pulls it wide within the first half a minute. Confusion at the back. There's a poor pass by the captain back to Ivan, not the goalkeeper. Tom Walters got there first. And let's be honest about it, Tom, Ricky Leowen should have done better.
Well, brilliant start for Haverfordwest there, but you know, the goalkeeper and Dylan Rees, the skipper there, you'd expect them to do a little bit better there, but certainly was an opening that probably they should have accepted there.
Kieran Williams launches the ball long, and it's out on the full for a throw-in. As I mentioned, the visitors on a good run. Haven't been defeated since they lost at home to Haverfordwest the last time these sides met. Back on the 6th of February, it was 2-0 on that occasion. Dan Hawkins and Ben Arman scoring for the Bluebirds.
Just straight offside there. Walters.
Gladys goes long towards Arman. Easily dealt with by the visiting back line. Walters hits it long this time, but beyond Dan Hawkins. Cooper. The visitors going direct. He finds Walters. No, he doesn't. Just bounced away from him.
Certainly at the moment, defensively, Haverfordwest is struggling. Again, just a straight long ball down there. Weren't able to. And Walters just nearly got to it and pulled it back for his strike partner, Anderson there.
Sun is out here, as we mentioned. There's also a stiff breeze around the Bridge Meadow Stadium this afternoon. And it seems to be at the back of the visitors at the moment. That's maybe what carried the ball away from Tom Walters there. But generally, we might see that make life difficult for the home side during this first half. We'll see.
Yeah, certainly a lively start. from the Ferry.
Hawkins. Is it inside towards Arman? Passed it and reached the striker. Cooper lifts it forward again. Walters with a header. Anderson fell eventually.
Scotch was lucky there, he just got hold of his shirt. Another referee might have looked at that differently. But again, Walters wins the first header. They've won the 3 or 4 headers early, the 2 strikers. Not the tallest back line by Haverfordwest.
Maybe Ollie Anderson was a little too honest initially there. His shirt was definitely being pulled. And he seemed to wait a few moments before going down. And that seemed to help to make the referee's mind up. No free kick. Will Fuller. Kept 4 clean sheets in the last 5 games. Gives you some idea of how well Briton Ferry Llansawel are doing. As I say that, the long ball forward gets caught on the wind. Bounces into the waiting arms of Ivan Knott. Ivan Knott recalled as first choice at the beginning of phase 2.
Yeah, it's so important to have a custodian that you can rely on. Obviously, both of the Haverfordwest keepers are pretty young, a little bit inexperienced, and I'm sure Tony Pennock, being a former goalkeeper himself, is well aware of that.
Yeah, Luke Rees is the other goalkeeper on the bench for Haverfordwest this afternoon. His last game was actually that 3-2 defeat here to Briton Ferry Llansawel back in January at the end of the first phase of the season.
Yeah, Rees looks a bit unsure of himself. Captain, over 250 appearances in the Welsh Premier League. Is that a rocky start to this game?
Kenneford steps over the halfway line. Dilly-dallied a bit on the ball. They're losing possession. Cooper washes it down the right flank this time, but again bounces away and out harmlessly enough for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think it's quite obvious that Andy Dyer's probably told his players turn the Haverfordwest defence early in this game as often as possible.
Dylan Rees hits it forward. Hawkins gets away from Gammond. Good ball, finds Shepherd. And the shot straight at Will Fuller.
Yeah, Will
First real shot in anger for the home side. There's a good chance that.
Yeah, certainly excellent ball by Hawkins into the path of Shepherd. And I expected him to score there, but I think the defender actually, it wasn't the keeper who saved it. The defender came across and timely interception.
Interception at the cost of a corner. Briton Ferry Llansawel won't mind that. Abruzzi gives a signal. It's the corner back to Kenneford. Kenneford kills the ball in. Visitors get it away as far as Shepherd. Shepherd, lovely ball out wide, right down to the corner again. Finds Abruzzi. Abruzzi inches forward for curling the ball in. Scotcher couldn't control at the edge of the area. Dylan Rees swung a boot at it. It's fallen now to Greg Walters. Maybe he should have done better. Shot always rising and over the bar.
Yeah, certainly gets in there. Walters skips past the defender there, Cooper, but couldn't control his effort.
Cooper yet again gets it forward, finds Anderson this time. Walters tried to give it back. to the number 20. Haverfordwest steal possession. Shepherd had a think about it there. He can hit them from halfway. Scored from the centre circle against Bala earlier this season. Not the first time he's done that in his career. Resisted the temptation this time, however.
There's one thing about Shepherd. He always seems to have time on the ball. His first touch is under control. Lifts his head. He knows where the runners are. He's a really key player for Haverfordwest and for Tony Pennock. They both signed contracts, taking them or keep them here for another 2 seasons.
That's always a sign of a good player in pretty much any team sport. Football, rugby, basketball, they always seem like they have all the time in the world. Kenneford, shot blocked, and then strange little deflection. Carries the ball back into the hands of Will Fuller. See it again. Kenneford swing a boot at it. Initially blocked by Gammond, and then I think it hit Cooper. That could have gone anywhere, Tommy.
Yes, absolutely. It's a bit like schoolboy stuff there in the yard.
Indeed. It's not jumpers for goalposts this afternoon in Haverfordwest, however. It's a bit more on this game. Played nearly 10 minutes. One real chance for both teams so far. Tom Price hits the ball out to Ian Jenkins. Cooper, same tactic. We've seen time and again. And Ivan Knott slipped there as he came out, thought about trying to gather the ball. I'm sure I was pretty happy to see that it was Elliot Scotcher who got to the ball first, and not Ollie Anderson. He could have been embarrassed there, the goalkeeper. Lewis Bates take the throw in. He's been a central part of this Briton Ferry Llansawel team this season. He's only missed 1 league game. The ball back from Anderson, did well under pressure to retain possession. Gave the ball to his brother Mitchell, number 22. The brothers combining again. There was a foul in there somewhere.
Yeah, but good combination play there by the Bates brothers, Louis and Mitchell.
And Mitchell Bates is actually on loan from Swansea City Academy for the season. Actually sent off the last time these sides met back in February. There's a third brother as well, Morgan, who plays for Swansea under 21s. There's actually a free kick for the visitors. Mitchell Bates is there. He's left it now. The ball curled in and straight down the throat, pretty much, of Ivan Knott.
Yeah, just what the keeper wants. Quite early in the game, is a cross like that. He takes it high up, give himself a bit of confidence.
Look at the other games taking place in the Cymru Premier this weekend. Result last night, New Saints, the champions, winning 4-0 away against Carnarvon. A couple of late goals for them. It's a big game between Cardiff Met and Bala Town later this afternoon. If Bala lose that one, and then Flint Town United beat the bottom side Llanelli in the other game this afternoon, Bala Town will be relegated. 17-year tenure in the Cymru Premier will come to an end. That's for later this afternoon, though. Back here in Pembrokeshire, there's a chance for the home side. And Kenneford ghosted in, but couldn't keep his header down. The ball landing on the roof of the net.
Certainly, Ricky Watts with the cross there, and so many defenders switched off there for Haverfordwest. Kenneford nips in, and really should have done much better. Should have definitely hit the target on. Well, he should have scored, let's be honest there. That's the best opportunity of the game so far.
Nobody tracked his run, Kyle Kenneford.
Now, considering the 3 centre-backs that Ferry have got, they should have be dealing with that a lot better than they did. Too much ball watching.
He's only ever scored once for Haverfordwest, Kyle Kenneford, in over 40 games. That was last month against Balla. Couldn't repeat the trick there, though. Maybe, as Tommy suggested, he should have done better. Ball's down at the other end of the pitch now. Throw in for the visitors. It's Kian Jenkins is preparing to take. Walters turns. Tried to get the cross in. Wasn't the best. Haverfordwest look to break. Watts inside. Little touch from Hawkins. Bluebirds changing the direction of the attack. Abruzzi. Little pass forward to Hawkins. A bit of wrestling between the Haverfordwest number 10 and Mitchell Bates.
Yeah, he kept nibbling at his ankles there, and eventually the referee gives in and gives the free kick.
Mitchell Bates was claiming that his shirt was being held. That may have been the case, but he also clearly had a handful of Peter Abruzzi's shirt as well. So it's going to be a free kick for Haverfordwest. Scotcher takes it. Ball bounces on in the penalty area. And Walters got his head to it. But the ball went wide.
Certainly some poor defending there. Once you leave the ball bounce in a penalty area, you've got defensive problems. And Walters just couldn't capitalise on that half chance. As I say, the ball bounced off the ground there and just went over his head. But again, maybe Haverfordwest will learn a lesson from that. The last two crosses have gone in, have caused numerous problems defensively for Briton Ferry. So they got an opening there.
It almost seemed like Greg Walters wasn't expecting that ball to reach him, and it just bounced a bit too high for him. Couldn't get enough purchase on the header, even with all that hair, giving him an extra couple of inches. Hasn't actually scored since October, Greg Walters. He scored in Europe at the beginning of the season. Actually found the net against Briton Ferry here last term as well. 5-1 victory back in January last year for Haverfordwest. High-flying Bluebirds as they were back then. A slightly more difficult season for Tony Pennock's side this term. Price chips the ball forward. Half a shout for a hand. And then eventually, after the ball gone out, Tom Walters had more to say about it. We'll see it again.
Yeah, certainly both teams defending pretty poorly. Benamoun back as a defender there, and sometimes the worst defenders are strikers.
He may well have hit Vicky Watt's arm. I don't think the number 7 knew much about it. Ben Harmon returned to the end of the pitch now. Tommy prefers to see him.
Well, 11 goals this season and 7 assists. He's a vital cog in that Haverfordwest side.
Indeed he is. Scored in both the previous games between these sides. Indeed, scored 4 in 4 against Briton Ferry Llansawel since January last year as Ben Harmon. As Tommy suggested, a very important part of this team. Top scorer last season as well. And has only missed 1 game this season, just like last term.
I thought this might have been more of a cagey game, but it's quite open at the moment. You know, considering what's at stake here, whoever wins this game has got an absolutely massive opportunity, you know, of getting into that playoff position.
Indeed, there will only be 2 games to go after this. Haverfordwest will face Flint Town United on Good Friday. As Flint prepare for the Welsh Cup final the following week. Toss comes in. Briton Ferry deal with that. And then the last game of the season for Haverfordwest is at home here. It's already relegated Llanelli. Briton Ferry Llansawel to face Cardiff Met and then make a trip to Balla for the last game. The ball through there. It's a good idea by Will Fuller. had read the situation, got out quickly, got his hands on the ball. In terms of getting into Europe through the playoffs, if I can get ahead of myself for a moment, Haverfordwest have actually done that twice in the last 3 years, so they know how to do it. They actually, back in 2023, got through the playoffs and qualified for the UEFA Conference League after finishing 7th, so they know how to do it. More live football coming up tomorrow from the Women's Janeiro Premier League, and it's a huge game. Wrexham hosting Cardiff City, and the North Walian club know that if they win that game tomorrow, they will be champions of the Janeiro Premier League for the first time ever, and will break the recent dominance of the other Bluebirds, not Haverfordwest, but Cardiff City, who have won the league for the last few years. Huge game, live online tomorrow afternoon from 5 o'clock. There's an attempted cross from Kian Jenkins, sails harmlessly over the bar here.
Yeah, but quite interesting. Jenkins there lofted a pass there over 40 metres, and Haverfordwest just let the player in. We've got to be doing better there. Got to compete for the ball.
Both defences at times, in the first 20 minutes here, look like they're half asleep. I don't know if it's because it's a lunchtime game. Shouldn't make a difference, really. Foul there on Ben Arman. I'll get Scotcher. Takes the kick. Finds Walter. He nearly found Greg Walters again. Walters all alone. Found a space between two defenders, and no one picked him up. It was a good ball.
It was a great ball there, but defensively there, Anderson he's marking him man for man, and you've got to go with the runner, and he just lets him freedom of the park. It just
again an attacker defending, and as someone who used to play at a very low level as a forward, and remembering how poor I was as a defender,
I thought you were
enough that I could comment on that kind of thing.
I thought you were referring to me there. I wasn't the best defender, I say that, but
I wouldn't dare, Tommy. Price gets it forward. Jenkins couldn't quite get the ball under control.
Yeah, the wind is playing a few tricks with the ball in the air, but players got to adjust to that. Same for both teams.
Yeah, but Briton Ferry Llansawel have clearly trying to use the Breeze to their advantage in this first quarter. They haven't quite been able to work out how to do that yet. Every ball over the top seems to have been caught on the wind and taken away from their forward line.
I've always found as a player it's sometimes easier to play into the wind than when you've got the advantage of a gale behind you.
Bruzy jumps in. Couldn't get the ball. Louis Bates with a cross. Bounces along. And again, well, Ricky Watts decided to let the ball go out for a goal kick, but Ollie Anderson chased it down.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. When you've got three centre-backs and you're up against two strikers, I'm trying to work out here who's picking who up. At the moment, it doesn't seem the three players for both teams defensively don't know who they're picking up.
It seems that three defenders against two attackers at the moment, creating natural channels for those attacking players. Well, launched down the field now.
Yeah, Jenkins did well there.
Halfway through the first half. Still goalless here. Corey Shepherd looking to change that. It's the ball out wide. So here's a Bruzy. Low cross, easily dealt with. All cleared as far as Shepherd. Shepherd got away from Walters well. There's a messy tackle there, but play allowed to continue. Ball falls for Walters! And Greg Walters just couldn't quite bring the ball down quickly enough. Did get a shot in. There wasn't the strongest one. Easy enough for Will Fuller in the end.
Again, yeah, Kieran Williams just gets underneath the ball and presents Walters with an absolutely golden opportunity. But to be honest though, his first just let him down there a little bit. Didn't get a clean contact on the ball, and a simple save for Fuller. But again,
he did very well in the first instance, did Greg Walters. Just read the flight of the ball and what the wind was doing to it. Much better than Kieran Williams. But having created a chance for himself, he probably should have done a bit better. Look at foul in midfield from Dylan Rees.
yeah, looks like a yellow card over there. So Bates for the tackle earlier.
Yeah, good refereeing really by Jordan Harmon. Going back to that incident about a minute ago. Lewis Bates slid in late when the ball was already gone. Very good advantage then to the referee, and made sure he didn't forget about it. Ollie Anderson just tying his laces and getting back to his feet. It's going to be Mitchell Bates to take the kick.
I don't think he brandished a yellow card there, did he? For a strong word.
Yeah, just a warning. Oh, Knott drops it!
Ooh.
And then a bit lucky to regather it. That ball could have fallen anywhere. It was Lee Cooper who was there waiting for it. Lou Cooper, rather.
Yeah, again, Thomas Walters. Great leap against the keeper. Keeper's very fortunate that the ball ended back in his lap. But I think if there's a goal going to come, it's going to come from a cross.
Yes,
this afternoon.
Seeing some defensive frailties on both sides at the moment. I mean, we don't really expect from these two sides. Haverfordwest had one of the best defences in the league last season. They have lost a couple of important players since then, of course. Zach Jones, the goalkeeper. Lee Jenkins, central defender. And they're still a pretty handy unit usually in defence. High foot there.
Oh, he wasn't even near his face. Must be watching too much television, Benamoon.
You had to get your foot up pretty high to get anywhere close to Benamoon's head. He's pretty tall, the striker. There was a free kick. And it's taken by Scotia towards Armand. There was an incident on the side of the penalty area. And the decision goes against Greg Walters this time for a foul.
Yeah, I think Walters knew what he was doing there. Obviously, seeing the run Greg Walters did previously, thought, right, you're not going anywhere this time. Not past me anyway.
That's an example of a striker doing some good defensive work.
Yeah, he's really impressed me this season, Thomas Walters. For me, he is Briton Ferry's star man, 100%er. Gives his all every game, and you know his stats follow that up as well.
Jenkins couldn't quite keep the ball in play. Yeah, 11 goals for Tom Walters this season, 3 in the last 4 games. Scored twice in his last away game, as Cardiff Met a week and a half ago. And he's also scored in his last 2 visits here to Haverfordwest as well.
Yeah, plus, you look at his other assists, 9 assists. That's really good going for a striker.
Yeah, before he moved up to play at this level, he scored at least 20 goals a season for 3 successive seasons in the Cymru South as well. Formerly of Llantwit Major, before joining Briton Ferry Llansawel in the summer of 2022.
Yeah, to be fair to Andrew Dyer, has been around, you know, the South Leagues for a long time, and he knows a good player when he sees one. and obviously got him from, you know, from Llansawel Major, and he's been a really good signing for Dyer and for Briton Ferry.
Andy Dyer also knows what it takes to get a team into Europe through the playoffs. 15 years ago now, when he was manager of Nice, qualified for the Europa League back then. And his current side have never even made it to the playoffs, let alone to Europe proper. But the manager certainly knows how to get a club there. The team have to defend now as Haverfordwest come forward with Ricky Watts. Hanging cross towards the back post. And a pretty hefty header. A confident header, shall we say, by Kieran Williams back to his goalkeeper. His heart would have been in his mouth in just a moment. There was actually Luke Cooper with the header.
I don't think he knew what he was doing there.
Got away with it.
Yeah. But again, a cross coming into the box creates havoc.
Luke Cooper only joined Briton Ferry Llansawel in January. Spent the first half of the season with Newport City.
Yeah, previously with Barry, and he was a very good, solid centre-back.
Indeed, former Barry Town captain. Played not far from 150 top-tier games for the Linnets. He's with Briton Ferry Llansawel now, on his side, but on the front foot. Ollie Anderson tried the shot, ball comes back eventually to Anderson. Turns, looks for support. Price chips it in. Just a bit too close to Ivan Ott once again. Again, just the wind, maybe just catching that cross and helping out the goalkeeper, really. Half an hour gone. Quick feet. Right, here's a Brucey. Too quick for Alex Gammond. There'll be a free kick for the Bluebirds. See that again.
Yeah, certainly wasn't going to pull out there. Another 100%er centre-back, Alex Gammond.
Yeah, just bamboozled there a bit by the number 3's quick feet. Alex Gammond was actually sent off against Haverfordwest last season. Not suggesting that he should have seen red there. Maybe a bit lucky not to see yellow on this occasion. Another free kick then for Haverfordwest. Get anyone in towards Greg Walters. Couldn't find him this time. Scotcher to Kenneford. Square across the middle of the park to Corey Shepherd. Shepherd fools Anderson. Plays a 1-2 with Arman. And then with his captain Rees, a shot in the end from Shepherd with the outside of his foot. But across the face of goal and wide. It's a good little move that though, Tommy.
Yeah, certainly some quality there. Again, takes his time. They'll drag back, then went to play, played it into the feet of Amoun. Comes in again, and outside of his right foot just pokes it past that far post. But certainly showing his quality this afternoon, Corey Shepherd.
Loose play by Ricky Watts. Greg Walters helped him out. And then Kyle Kenneford did something similar and then wasted the possession, having retained it. Ian Jenkins Take the throw in, down by his own corner flag. He's clearly going to launch this down the sideline. Headed by Walters. Straight to Hawkins on that occasion. Walking back to Tom Walters. There's going to be another throw in for Haverfordwest. Hawkins back to his captain Rees. Rees tries to find Arman, and it nearly fell for the tall striker. Put away. Ball curved out of play for the throw in. Haverfordwest doing some good territory at the moment.
Yeah, and the balance of play has probably created the better opportunities. But you need to be clinical in that top third of the pitch.
Once the Bluebirds hear my comment about enjoying good territory, obviously they hit it all the way back to the goalkeeper at the end of the pitch. Ivan Ott. Big kick into the wind. Bloody stayed down the pitch, got his head to it. Vicky Watts with a throw this time. Scotcher lifts the ball high. Seemed Vicky Watts had the sun in his eyes for a moment there, but he managed to get to the ball. And again, he nearly found Ben Arman in the penalty box.
Yeah, Cooper slightly hesitant there with the header.
Loose by Gammond out to the back. Straight to Corey Shepherd. All clear as far as Rees. Back to Shepherd now. He couldn't get the better on Mitchell Bates this time, though. And then Bates hits the ball straight to Ricky Watts. Arman's header towards Kenneford. Comes to nothing.
Yeah, Tony Pennock there.
Making absolutely sure that the decision went his side's way. And there was a throw-in for Haverfordwest, which Teresa Bruzy will take. Teresa Bruzy celebrating his 28th birthday today. No doubt we hope to do that with a win. Ivan Ott into the wind again. Vicky Watts couldn't judge the flight that time.
It's gone a little bit scrappy now out there.
I was just about to say exactly the same thing, Tommy, as we go into the last 10 minutes of this first half.
Game needs a goal, as they say.
We need something. Shepherd falls to the ground and does win a free kick.
Yeah, again, Shepherd showing his power there. Ricky Lee Owen.
Yeah, Ricky Lee Owen had him in an armbar there for a moment, to use wrestling parlance. Scotcher towards Ricky Watts. Ball went out off the defender's head, so it'll be a corner kick, only the second of the game. Both of them have come for the Bluebirds. Tommy was just saying that the game needs a goal. Can Haverfordwest provide one here? A Bruzy with a corner kick towards the far post. Defensive header as far as Shepherd. Scotcher could have control. And Ollie Anderson shows some strength to carry the ball all the way to midfield for Corey Shepherd stopped his run.
Yeah. Tracking back really well there, Shepherd. Never gave up. Good tackle in the end as well.
Perfect timing. Right under the nose of his manager as well. Not that Tony Pennock needs reminding of what a good player Corey Shepherd is.
Well, he's already got him under a contract, you know, for till the end of next season. So I wonder if Tony Pennock's got his eyes on a few more players for next season as well. I'm sure a few caught his eye during the season. He gets about and watches quite a bit of games, so he knows what his team wants.
Yeah, Haverfordwest lost a couple of key players to the English pyramid last summer. And I feel that Corey Shepherd is someone who could take that step. That's probably why Tony Pennock wanted to pin him down to a contract as soon as he could. Amman with a header towards Shepherd! And a fine shot over his shoulder. But Will Fuller was equal to it. A lovely save, really, by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, superb cross to the far post. Amoun, brilliant header back across the 6-yard box there. And he didn't quite get enough purchase on that. But technically, brilliant effort. But credit to the keeper as well. He did really well.
Yeah, Will Fuller showing why he's kept so many clean sheets recently. Kenneford with a corner. Fuller with a punch this time. Briton Ferry get it away. Shepherd. Half a chance now, maybe. Briton Ferry Llansawel to break. Ricky Watts wasn't having any of it. Timed his tackle perfectly. But Haverfordwest give the ball back to the visitors. We're now moving forward in the Bluebirds half. Plenty of blue shirts retreating quickly though, forcing the visitors to be patient as we go into the last 5 minutes. What's been a relatively tight and start-stop first half. And again, the long ball forward comes to nothing.
Yeah, certainly, as its games developed, Haverfordwest have getting stronger and stronger.
As we see, confirmation that on Tuesday night, S4C will be showing the Cymru senior side's next international. You do hope that you'll tune in, although obviously it goes without saying that's not the game that we hoped we'd be watching on Tuesday night. It's a friendly against Northern Ireland rather than that playoff game to try and get Cymru to the finals of the World Cup. Heartbreaking on Thursday, wasn't it, Tommy? You were there, I was there.
Yes, very disappointing. Never seen a crowd leaving a stadium in such silence.
Yeah, absolute dejection after a penalty shootout defeat. Louis Bates, who had received a stern warning earlier on, but a late tackle is this time booked for a foul on Rhys Abruzzese.
See Andy Dyer there just behind the referee. I wonder what's going through his mind. Probably they came here and won 3-0, didn't they? Previous in the season.
Won 3-2.
Sorry, 3-2.
But having led 3-0, you're right. He jumped into a 3-0 lead after just over half an hour. And Haverfordwest only scored their 2 goals late on. So it was actually a much more comfortable victory than the final score suggests.
I'm just trying you out there, see if you knew your stats there, May. Fair play to you.
Clarice. Ball does get to Corey Shepherd in the end. Abruzzi beats one man and gets past Lewis Bates, but there was too much on his little kick forward. The ball goes out for a goal kick. Having mentioned at the start, Tommy, that conditions, well, maybe not quite perfect, but conditions were very good for this game. as it's turned out, neither side have seemed to be able to settle and deal with the wind in this first half.
No, it's playing tricks. There's a bit of a swirling wind, so it's not of any advantage to one team or the other. But I certainly think Tony Pennock will be the more disappointed going in at half-time, thinking they haven't scored, considering the opportunities they've had.
Well, Sgorio gets under that one. The ball falls for Ollie Anderson before Sgorio gets his foot in. Good tackle, that. Corey Shepherd battling forward.
Oh, he's a bit unfortunate. Oh, he's...
Yellow card for Tom Price. Didn't seem to be much in that. See it again. What do you think, Tommy? Was that a foul?
That's harsh. That's very harsh. He touches him, but he didn't grab his shirt. That's a poor yellow card. Sorry.
You don't have to apologise, Tommy. It wasn't you that committed the foul. Into the last minute of the first half. Sgorio hits it forward again. Armand's header. Gammond with a little flick to get the ball away. Hawkins lifts it back into the penalty area. There's a little shove by Dylan Rees that time, though. Brings that little passage of play to an end. Disappointing end from Haverfordwest perspective. Well, wasn't much in it, but Haverfordwest captain, I think, knew what he was doing. As did the referee.
Yeah, I think the referee, looking at that booking is a bit harsh. But there we are. Without referees, be no games.
In fairness to Mr. Harmon, it's the kind of game it's difficult to let things go. There have been a lot of little niggly fouls. The start-stop first period, which we've now played 45 minutes of. There's only going to be 60 seconds to add on. No free kick that time for Ben Harmon. Just the throw in for the visitors. Half a minute or so to launch one last attack before the break. Kian Jenkins with the throw. Ball bounces on. Dicilio went over his shoulder. Ball falls at the feet of Greg Walters. Ball deflected out for a throw in, and surely that'll be that for the first half. Just a couple of chances for either side. It's been a tight game, as maybe we should have expected looking at the league table.
Yeah, Walters.
That is half-time.
Had probably the best opportunity, and then that overhead kick by probably the man of the match in the first half, Corey Shepherd, saved by full stretch, so all square going into the coffee break.
Indeed, there's confirmation of the score. Goalless at the half here. We'll be back in about a quarter of an hour. There's some highlights for you to enjoy during the break from last night's game between Carnarvon Town and the New Saints, and also from Cymru under-21's victory at Rodney Parade yesterday against Belarus. Tommy and I will be back in about a quarter of an hour. See you then.
Marshall, wylio am opsiynau, mynd yn hir. Rediad Williams, Jordan Williams, rheoli. Clark sydd efo fo, lledu'r bel, chydig o le rwan gan Rory Holden. Williams neud rediad tu allan iddo fo. Y bel ar draws gan Williams. Gwaith da yn y gol yma gan Harry Thomas. Mooney sy'n pigo'r bel i fyny i Carnarfon. Os ti i Iwan Lewis. Lewis i fyny at Riowen. Riowen ddim yn cam sefyll. Wel, amddiffynwyr Seintiau Newydd wedi stopio chwilio am y Lliman. Lliman ddim yn dod cyfle euraidd o fanna i Riowen. Ond yr ergyd yn cael ei arbad gan Shepherd. Danny Williams. Redmond, nôl at Brobl, canfod Marshall. Digon o le rwan gan Marshall. Croesiad i mewn yn isal, ac dyna chi gol gan Danny Williams. Seintiau Newydd, unwaith eto, lledu'r bel, un ochr y caer, llall. Jordan Marshall efo digon o amser i gael y croesiad i mewn. Ac ergyd Danny Williams heibio i Harry Thomas. llai na 10 munud wedi chwarae. Caernarfon dim, Seintiau Newydd 1. Cic rhydd rwan, cael ei gymryd yn sydyn. Croesed i mewn gan Danny Williams i mewn i'r canol. Harrison yn penio o Clark sy'n ymestyn ar y postyn pella. Ac mae'n ddwy. Wel, cwta munud ar ôl sgorio'r gynta. Mae'r Seintiau Newydd wedi dyblu eu mantais. Y bel ar draws i'r canol. A Clark oedd yna o blaen. Sears ar y postyn pella. Caernarfon dim, Seintiau Newydd 2. Gosset.
Get out him, Mugs! Get out him!
Morgan Owen wneud yr hediad tu allan iddo fo. Bel yn cyrraedd Owen. Owen tuag at y canol, William Davies. Bel yn disgyn i ymyl y cwrt i Ellis. Wel, dyna chi ergyd o fanna gan Osian Ellis. Efo'r cyffyrddiad cynta. Ond heibio'r postyn ath i. Danny Williams. Chi pas hyfryd fanna gan Redmond. Digon le rwan gan Danny Williams. Y bel i mewn i'r canol. Ac Ben Clark, William i ail o'r noson. Ond methu agor i gorff i fyny, cael y bel ar targed. Danny Williams i lawr y dde unwaith eto. Ond Clark, tro yma methu canfod y targed. Ellis, methu gol un. Digon bwysa. Ffodus iddo fo, bel yn disgyn nôl iddo fo eto, methu i clirio. Jordan Williams, cyfle rwan yn mergyd gan Jordan Williams. Ac Harry Thomas yn neud yr arbediad. Y bel yna'n disgyn i Jordan Williams, a chi'n gwybod o'na, do'n mond un peth ar i feddwl o. Yr ergyd yn dod, digon yn erth, tu ôl i, ond agos i Harry Thomas. Arbediad da gan y golwr. Lewis. Pas hyfryd o'na, Mooney troes i mewn os na cyflaf yma i Phil Mooney. Wel, gwaith arwrol yma yn diwedd gan Danny Williams. Oedd Phil Mooney di troi tu mewn, oedd yr ergyd yna iddo fo. Ond mi nath Danny Williams digon. Fodyn yn tu fewn at Cornes. Heibio i Mendes, gwaith da yma gan Cornes. Bas tu mewn at Clark allan at Brobl ar ergyd, ond syth at Harry Thomas. Wel, camgymeriad yn y cefn rwan gan Harrison, ac mae Jordan Williams yn cerdded y bel i mewn y cefn y rwyd. Wel, am smonach yn yr amddiffyn gan Caernarfon. Harry Thomas yn rhoi y bel i Kyle Harrison yn oedi arni. Seintiau'n dwy'n y bel, a Jordan Williams yn sgorio i 5 gol ar 20 o'r tymor. A dwi'n amman gryf bod o ddim wedi cael un haws na honna. Godsback Ford, lledi'r chwarae allan at Redmond. Redmond tu fewn. Brobl i lawr, trwad at Barton. Wel, mae Barton wedi rhoiti i gefn y rhwyd. A di sgorio 4 gol, Seintiau Newydd o'r noson. Y bas rwad, Harry Thomas yn oedi. Ac Dan Barton yna o flaen y golwr. Dim camgymeriad gan o fo. Seintiau Newydd yn sicrhau y 3 pwynt.
Na beth yw Matty Jones am weld yw datblygiad yn erbyn y tîm yma. Gyfarwydd y war yn erbyn nhw'n y gêm diwetha. Bydd am gwelliant o ran ddim wneud y camgymeriadau ar y cefn wrth nhw ddechrau fan hyn yn chwarae o'r cefn.
Wel, fel hyn dechreuodd y goliau ddod i Belarus yn y gêm oddi cartre, y pwyso yna ar y llinell anghyffredinol, a ni'n gweld yn syth.
Ie, dyna blueprint o ran Belarus, a nhw'n gwybod fel mae Cymru'n hoffi chwarae, felly maen nhw'n medru fod ar y troi blaen yn syth, a mae hwn yn cyfle enfawr o dechrau'r gêm. Melnichenko, yr chwarae'r pryglus ni sôn am yn barod.
Dwsiewski methu ffeindio'i bas, felly mae'n gyfle fan hyn i Gymru dorri. Joel Cottrell. Allan at Congrifo, Biancheri wedi dwy'n y bil! Biancheri! Fi roi Cymru ar y blaen. Yr ail dro bellachau, tîm Davidigen yr ail dro. Iddo fe sgorio hefyd.
Ie, a fe'n effro yn y cwrt cosbi, Biancheri fan hyn, yn ni'n gweld Cottrell yn chwarae bel allan, y bel yn dod mewn yn gynnar, a wedyn Biancheri yn neidio ar y bel. Cymeryd y cyffyrddiad gyda'i drod dde, a'r golwr ddim yn un man wedyn, a mewn i'r rwyd.
A Belarus felly dal yn ymosod, Spenkov. Nad Gomanov yn mynd o bellter. Marginson, methu dalu ar y gêm y cynta. A Cymru, o chenaid mawr o'r yddad, yn llwyddo i glirio. Cameron Congreve, gyda pot bella am y peniad i fewn gan Archie Harris. Ei gol gynta i Gymru ar y lefel yma.
Cornel yn dod mewn, Archie Harris yn ffeindio unan mewn â Kerry o le yn y cwrt Cosby. Ond, ti'n bod, mae'n mynd bach yn amnod, dwi ddim yn edrych mlaen i'r bel, ond mae'n penio fe mewn i safle perffaith i gornel o rwyd, bant o'r postyn.
Yn y canol mae Crew sydd wedi bod yn syrenu hyd yn hyn. Rheoli'r chwarae'n llwyr, mae Kai Andrews yn gymorth mawr iddo fe hefyd. Congreve i'r canol, Biancheri mynd ar y cynnig cynta yn syth i ddwylo'r golwr. Ond Biancheri yn y ban ar lle. Belarus yn ennill bel yn uchel Spenkov. Trio'r y ddau. Simonenka. Methu gwasgu'r ergyd heibio i Kit Margetson.
Gath e'r cyffyrddiad yn y fe, wedyn pwysau'n dod ar. Cymru Cymru ddim am roi kickoff smotyn bant, felly ddim am neidio mewn, ond y Margetson yn cael ei onglen cywir bod e ar y postyn y gosa yna.
Belarus yn gwybod. Byddai un gol yn y munudau nesaf yn rhoi cyfle. A maen nhw'n mynd am yr ergyd o bell. A tro hyn, Kit Margetson, cyn nath e ddim yn yr hanner cyntaf, ond nath ergyd o bell o'r safle tebyg yn dal honna yn gadarn.
Mae'n gêm dyngedfennol yn y ras am y bencampwriaeth. Buddugoliaeth i'r Wrecsam a bydd y bencampwriaeth o fewn gafel. Colli a bydd y cyfan yn nwylo Caerdydd. Dyma Lily Mae Jones, codi ffen y croesiad i fewn i'r cwrt bach. A'r peniad yn rhydd gan Eiffa Suckley. Ac mae Wrecsam ar y blaen wedi 23 o funudau. Y gol geidwad Amelia Falkins yn penderfynu peidio dod amdani ac mae'n dasg hawdd i Eiffa Suckley. Chloe Chivers yn bwydo Trivett allan ar y chwith. Trivett y croesiad at y postyn bella. Stacey John yn cyrraedd. Liz Craven yno, ond oedd hi'r rhy boeth i Craven. Ac mae Abertawe yn gyfartal. Dim ond 2 funud ar ôl i'r Wrecsam fynd ar y blaen. Stacey John yn taro i 8fed gol gyngrair y tymor yma. Faye Knox. Knox ymlaen at Katie Barker. Barker yn troi ac yn bwydo Eiffa Suckley, dydy ddim yn cam sefyll. Suckley am ei hael ac i roi Wrecsam yn ôl ar y blaen. 35 o funudau wedi chwarae. Wrecsam yn curo'r trap cam sefyll. Mi oedd hi'n agos, ond oedd hi'n bas wych gan Barker a Suckley yn gorffen yn daclus. Lily Mae Jones yn rhoi Sammy Wyn ar ei phenyglunia. A dyma Faye Knox. Knox yn torri tu fewn trwy'r amddiffynwyr. Yn tanio ac yn curo Amelia Falkins. Mae'n gol hyfryd gan Faye Knox. A nid am y tro cyntaf tymor yma, mae Knox yn sgorio gol wych o di allan y cwrt. Ac mae'n 2-1 i'r Wrecsam. Dim pwysau o gwbl ar Phoebe Davies. A'r bas Letraws yn dod o hyd i Faye Knox. Knox i fewn i'r cwrt ac i gefn y rhwyd. Mae'n 4edd i'r Wrecsam. 9fed gol Faye Knox ym mhob cystadleuaeth y tymor yma. Davies yn cael gormod o amser. Knox yn gwneud y gweddill. Faye Knox di sgorio 2 gol yn barod. Mae'n mwynhau hun heno. A'r bas yn hyfryd at Katie Barker sydd wedi mesur yr hediad yn berffaith. Heibio'r gol geidwad. Mae'n 5ed i'r Wrecsam. 20fed gol gyngrair Katie Barker y tymor yma. Yn dangos i chyflymder. Yr hediad yn wych. Mae ar ben bellach. Abertawe 1, Wrecsam 5. Maria Francis Jones ar arwydd, ond mae'n syth at y golwr. Mae Falkins di gwneud smonach o honna. A dyma Jodie Battle ar draws wyneb y gol. Maria Mahmood oedd yno i basio'r bel i'r rhwyd wag. 2 funud sy'n weddill yma. Rhaid gofyn cwestiynau am y golwr yn fanna, yn penderfynu peidio dal i gafel yn y bel. A Mahmood yn sgorio gol gyntaf ers mis Rhagfyr. Bartle y capten yn clirio. Dyma Rosie Hughes fydde hi wrth I bodd. Yn cael ei henw ar y sgorfwrdd yn y munudau ola yma. Ond mae'n oedi yn disgwyl y cymorth. Hughes yn ôl at Mariam Mahmood. Mahmood yn ergydio bellter. Mae'n taro'r postyn. Barker ddim yn cam sefyll. Y seithfed I Wrexham am ddatganiad gan y dreigiau cyn herio Caerdydd ddydd Sul. Buddigoliaeth ar y caer as y penwythnos yma a bydd Wrexham yn cael ei coroni'n bencampwyr y brif adran am y tro cyntaf erioed.
Thank you very much for an entertaining half-time. And as they make way, your Haverfordwest County Bluebirds take to the field. Raffle, congratulations to Thomas Kidver, Sharon Rosian and Ada Jennings for winning March. The Bluebird raffle takes place every month and the prizes for the April draw will be confirmed very soon. You can sign up to the raffle via the links across the front.
Welcome back to the Bridge Meadow Stadium. The players have returned to the field for the second half, and there's been one change for the home side. Elliot Scotcher leaving the fray at the break, and young Will Hughes, an 18-year-old centre forward, taking his place. Hughes a couple of games for Haverfordwest in the UEFA Youth League early in the season, but not much experience with the first team beyond that. You can see he's going to be the home side to kick off. Still with me here in the commentary booth. Here's Tommy Morgan. Tommy, what do you think the managers would have said, what the main messages would have been at half-time?
Well, obviously the game's on a knife edge, really, possession-wise. After a bright start from Ferry, Haverfordwest probably dominated it afterwards, and they need to be a little bit sharper in the top end of the pitch. And interesting to see, I think Watts goes to centre-back now, doesn't he? Bit of adjustment.
Long ball forward, early chance. And Corey Shepherd got there, but his scissor kick flies over the bar in the first, 15 seconds really of the second period. I think that gives us a sign of things to come. With an extra striker up there now. You might see Haverfordwest try to make use of the wind in the second period with those long balls. Nearly worked within the first half a minute.
Yeah, certainly a good opportunity, but it was a difficult opportunity. The ball was quite high up, so, you know, Shepherd just couldn't control the final effort.
He just bounced a bit too high for Corey Shepherd. We saw time and time again in that first half, Briton Ferry Llansawel trying to make use of this swirling wind, which was generally behind them. The long ball over the top didn't work for them. Haverfordwest nearly showing them how it should be done right at the beginning of the second half. Shepherd. Dispossessed. Will Fuller launches the ball down the field. Bruzy does the same. Neither side holding on to possession at the moment, and the ball out for a throw-in.
Yeah, it's quite interesting for me. Walters and Anderson invariably win the first header, but Ferry have got no runners like Mitchell, Ricky Lee Owen or Price getting beyond the ball to put Haverfordwest under a bit of pressure. You know, I've seen back in the day where you're a big centre forward and a little striker, you're nipping around. Both of them, are very mobile, Anderson and Thomas Walters, but they're not really playing off each other, if you get the meaning. When the ball's in the air, the other one's got to be anticipating it and getting beyond the last defender.
Contrast to that, it seems that's exactly what Haverfordwest are trying to do now, having brought on the young centre forward Will Hughes to partner Big Ben Arman up front. We also saw Corey Shepherd making that run in, of course. Tom Price. And the whistle had gone for a handball against Ricky Lee Owen. Greg Walters considering his options. Goes square to his captain. Dylan Dees. Kyle McCarthy with some space to move forward. Cross was somewhat caught on the wind. Cleared by Tom Price. Greg Walters runs out of space on the far side. A reminder of the other fixtures in the Cymru Premier this weekend. One game last night, the champions TNS winning 4-0 away against Carnarvon. And a huge game down towards the bottom of the table at 2:30 this afternoon. Cardiff Met face Bala, and at the same time Flint Town United face already relegated Llanelli Town. It's also a game in the top 6 between Penabont and Colwyn Bay, and the other game is tomorrow. Conisky Nomads welcoming Barry Town United.
Yeah, it's quite interesting if Flint capture a victory this afternoon and this game stays the same. It's going to be quite a chase for that 7th place still, because they'll be 3 points behind the 2 clubs above them.
Indeed. These two sides 5 points clear at the moment of both Flint Town United and Cardiff Met. So we could see, as Tommy mentioned, all 4 teams within, 3 points of each other going into the last 2 games. And if that was to be the combination of results this weekend, as I mentioned in the first half, Bala Town would also be relegated. And such a good period of time in this top tier, Bala, since they were promoted back in 2009. But it hasn't gone their way this year. They're teetering right on the edge now of relegation. That could be confirmed by the end of this afternoon. They did pick up a fine win against Haverfordwest last week, of course. Cross comes in, and the goalie spills it. And there isn't a foul, and the goal's awarded. Corey Shepherd was the man who jumped in towards the goalkeeper, but he didn't touch it. It's Will Hughes, the substitute, who's receiving the plaudits from his teammates. Controversial one, but it stands.
Just shows a lot of pace here. Hughes takes it right down to the nearly to the byline, cuts back onto his right foot and puts in a delicious cross. Keeper. Well,
is that a foul, Tommy?
No.
There is contact.
There is, but he should have attacked the ball a little bit better there. He waited for it to come in his hands.
And as the ball was curling in towards the goal mouth, that won't be an own goal, that'll go down as a goal for young Will Hughes, his first in the Cymru Premier.
What a substitution.
Indeed, and as we mentioned, and we've seen in the first 5 minutes of the second half, Haverfordwest making much better use of the conditions with a swirling wind at their back. The wind caught that cross, made life difficult for Will Fuller. After the pressings, no doubt, of Corey Shepherd. And we were discussing during that first half that the game needed a goal. Well, we've got one after a little over 5 minutes of the second period. The home side ahead.
Well, I asked for a goal, had one delivered. So now it's up to Haverfordwest to defend, but it's also up to Briton Ferry to show their attacking prowess.
And the visitors have a free kick, a set piece, a chance to hit back straight away. But before that kick's taken, referee's going across. Someone on the Briton Ferry Llansawel bench said too much, and he's seen red. It's not Andy Dyer. Andy Dyer standing there still, stern-faced, didn't say a word. But his team have a free kick. Mitchell Bates hits it across!
Oh.
And there were 3 Briton Ferry Llansawel players who ran in with no one around them, and the ball just bounced right down that corridor of uncertainty beyond each of the strikers. And Haverfordwest get away with one there.
Yeah, absolutely delightful ball. He was dying for somebody just to sneak in there and give it the finishing touch. You know, that fox in the box was certainly missing there.
All that needed was a touch. And 3 visiting players tried to get to it, and none of them could. And they all stood there in disbelief after the incident, and they realised what a chance it was, and that it had gone begging. It was Jay Fitzpatrick, by the way, who saw that red card and was sent off the bench for the visitors. And he's Briton Ferry Llansawel's goalkeeping coach. So I think we can all work out what he was complaining about. That goal a few moments beforehand, when Will Fuller was sent flying. Or he was at least sent flying in the Briton Ferry Llansawel bench's eyes. So Briton Ferry Llansawel's unbeaten run, certainly in doubt. It could be bookended by defeats by Haverfordwest. That was close, I think, Tommy. Offside was given. And the whistle had long gone before Will Hughes put the ball in the net. And that's why he sees a yellow for kicking the ball away. See how close it was now.
I think he
just off, I think, Tommy.
Yeah, just drifted offside there, yeah. You learn with time not to put the ball in the net, pick up a needless yellow card.
Tom Price. Gammond with a little pass. Sets Williams on his way. Ian Jenkins. 2 men in blue around him. Deep cross, bounces on to Lewis Bates. His brother Mitchell. The hanging cross that was dealt with by the home defence. Mitchell Bates, great ball, Jenkins across! And Walters should have equalised. A heroic block right on the line. Means that it remains 1-0. But it was a good move by the visitors. And you'd expect Tom Walters to score from that kind of position. But the defender did fantastically well there to deny him. See it again, lovely ball through. Yeah. Good cross as well.
Williams with the cross there. And absolutely vital. Kyle McCarthy, all his experience there, came to good use and just blocked that effort. And Thomas Walters must have thought that's the equaliser there.
I think we all did for a moment, Tommy.
Yeah, and that would have been his 12th goal of the season.
Kyle McCarthy had other ideas. Ricky Watts with a header. And then Greg Walters flies in. He sees a free kick.
It looks as if Andy Dyer's going to be looking to make some substitutions.
Here's the goal again. Walters with the effort. Easy enough for Ivan Knott. Since conceding, Briton Ferry Llansawel have just stepped up a gear. Not quite been able to make the most of it yet.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's a bit of both, isn't it? You scored a goal and defensively you just drop off a little bit to, defend what you've got, but plenty of time for the away side to get back into this.
They might do it now with Walters! Puts it past the post.
Not sure if Thomas Walters did the right thing there, actually. Tom Price was in a really good position there as well. But again...
shows some good strength there.
Yeah.
To get away from Dylan Rees, but yeah, he could have pulled it back between the two Haverfordwest players, maybe. And he got his head up.
Yeah.
That's like every good striker, Tommy, he only had an eye for goal.
Yes, but sometimes if a player's in a better position than you, and to score from that kind of angle, it's going to be difficult.
Walters, the other Walters, Greg charging forward. Down straight into Alex Gammond. Kenneford stealing possession. Gets a pause from Abruzzi. Here's Abruzzi, steps in field. Goes square to Corey Shepherd. Hawkins. Little pass around the corner to Abruzzi. Ricky Watts. Too much on it. A promising little move comes to nothing.
I think too much on it is a bit of an understatement. We were talking in the half-time about quality crossing. We had a discussion about Sobra Thomas coming on for Wales, and I thought his final pass wasn't good enough. You thought it wasn't too bad, and that's it's a matter of opinion sometimes, isn't it?
But it's so important.
Yeah.
Corey Shepherd crosses this time and forces Kieran Williams to concede a corner.
No, as a striker, as a former striker, you really do, rely on the quality crosses, and and also reading the player that's going to cross the ball. I played with some really good wingers, and you knew they'd be putting it in an area for you, and that job then as a striker is to attack that space.
One thing that Cymru didn't have the other night was a tall target man. Haverfordwest do have that in Ben Arman, waiting for this corner. And he can do so again. Here's Abruzzi. Gets to take two. Gives a signal, curls it in. Not the best one. Kenneford. Back to McCarthy on the halfway line. Corey Shepherd, low ball across field. Trying to find Armand, didn't work this time. Half a chance maybe for the visitors to break. Louis Bates, little touch by Anderson. Mitchell Bates gets it forward, promising move this. Ollie Anderson with a cross! And Knott's got there. Is that a penalty? No.
Whoa, look.
He did so well in the first place, Ivan Nott, and while he was trying to recover and get to his feet, there was an incident just in front of him. We'll see it again. Is this a penalty, Greg Walters?
No, he gets the ball.
No, he got the ball.
To be fair to him, that's an excellent interception by Walters.
It was vital. I still have my eyes on Ivan Nott, who seems to be down and struggling.
But a great, smooth football from Briton Ferry.
And actually, Tom Walters got to the cross first. It was a save from Ivan Nott. Not that the goalie knew much about it. All he could do in that kind of situation was make himself as big as he could.
Making it a really nervous time for Tony Pennock there. And his assistant, Gary Richards.
That was a wonderful little move. The build-up that led to that chance by the visitors.
Yes, certainly. Maybe we forget the save from the keeper as well in that move, but superb move though. Just see Haverfordwest, his goal.
Shepherd jumps in. Well, there is contact, but well, as Tommy mentioned earlier on or suggested, it wasn't a deliberate jump into the goalkeeper at all, was it? So it was almost like as if the goalkeeper was waiting for it.
You're always looking for goalkeepers to take the ball as the highest height they can. He waited for that ball to come into his hands rather than move his body towards the ball, which meant if he'd have done that, then it definitely would have been a foul.
Make some noise for your
Sam Snaith. Come on for the visitors. Talking about target man, he's a big striker. Missed over 4 months early in the season with injury. And then scored within seconds of his return a couple of months ago against Llanelli. Came on as a substitute and around this point in the game and scored within about 10 seconds. Just hearing that 620 people have turned out to watch this game on this Saturday lunchtime.
It's an excellent crowd.
Very much so.
Haverfordwest have done really well with marketing their club.
They're really drawing the crowds in the past couple of seasons since they've returned here to the Bridge Meadow. Success helps from that point of view, of course. The local fans realising that today it's a big game, pivotal game maybe, in the race to get into the playoffs. Ball does reach Corey Shepherd. Arman out wide. And the visitors have intercepted and are looking to break now. Cian Jenkins. Crossfield ball. Behind Sam Snaith. And out for a throw in.
Carl McCarthy there telling Abruzzi to slow things down, take the sting out the game.
He was standing beside Sam Snaith. It was his former teammate at Cardiff Met. The same can be said of Dylan Rees. He's marking Snaith now. Greg Walters turns, hits it long. Shepherd fell to the floor and still got the pass in. Kenneford tried to find Ben Arman. Ball came back to him. Dan Hawkins. Greg Walters. To McCarthy. Abruzzi. Ran straight into Lewis Bates. The second ball falls for Kyle McCarthy. And can't control it. Throw in taken quickly. Sam Snaith dropped back deep into his own half. It is again. Trips over the ball. Claims it was a foul. Nothing given. Walters with a strike! And he hit that one well, did Greg Walters. Low strike. And Will Fuller had to get down quickly for that one. And it definitely wasn't a foul a few seconds before that. Sam Snaith definitely tripped over the ball. Good save by Fuller.
Yeah, I think he made hard work of that, though.
Yeah, free kick for Briton Ferry Llansawel. We'll see that chance again. I don't think there was a touch there by Greg Walters, was there?
No. He wanted a foul. I think he nearly got Will Fuller a bit unawares there, didn't he? With an early shot.
He might have moved a bit in the air as well, although it was a low shot. Price with a free kick. Chips it towards the Haverfordwest penalty area. Kenneford puts his laces through it. Launches it down the field. No one there in blue. Fuller gets the ball back from where it came. Cooper trying to find Tom Walters in the penalty area. Foul goes against him. Backing into his namesake Greg Walters. Not much in that, really. It might have been offside, actually. So we've reached the three-quarter mark and just a goal in it. It came for Haverfordwest early in the second half. Slightly controversial. Will Hughes' cross. So dropped over his own line by Will Fuller. He was under pressure from Corey Shepherd.
So much at stake here this afternoon. It's going to be a nervy last 20 minutes for Haverfordwest fans.
The next goal in this game is going to be huge. Mitchell Bates. Goes square. Kieran Williams is asking for support. Slows it down. Gets the ball back. And that's not what Kieran Williams was trying to do, but the ball got to Tom Price. Price hits it cross field. Cooper forward. Carthy steals possession, finds Arman with some space. Arman with a crossfield ball. Seen the run of Corey Shepherd. Didn't quite find him.
Yeah, I think Corey Shepherd just slowed down there. If he'd have attacked that ball, I think he'd have got there first.
Yeah, both Shepherd and Williams just hesitated for a split second. Williams got it away in the end. At the cost of a throw-in. Hawkins. Delaney's forward. Beyond Ben Arman. More live football to come during the next few days. We mentioned the senior Cymru side will be in action again on Tuesday night. A few hours before that, big game for the under-21s. Did a fine victory at home against Belarus yesterday. It's brought them back into contention in Group I of the European Championship qualifiers. Have a tough assignment on Tuesday, an away game against Denmark. And that's live online from around the 5:15. Before then, actually, 5:45. Important that I get that one right, because I'm commentating on that game and I won't turn up late. "20 minutes to go here. Will Fuller launches the ball down the field. Villarreal does the same, beyond everyone. That's not exactly what Will Fuller was trying to do there.
No, certainly Will Hughes just putting a little bit of pressure on Will Fuller there. Enough for him to slice the ball out for a throw-in.
Substitution going to be made before play resumes. Ricky Leo went, leaving the fray. And the manager's son, Rio Dyer, coming on. Rio Dai actually spent a season with Haverfordwest, played for them in Europe. Scored twice in 22 league games. And you also know Tony Bennett pretty well from his days with Hull Academy. Change being made for the home side as well. Ben Arman leaving. Owain Jones comes on to take his place for the last 20 minutes. Owain Jones scored home and away against today's opposition last season. And also scored the only goal of the last home game against Cardiff Met 2 weeks ago. Something of a specialist impact player, Owain Jones. Seldom plays a full 90 minutes. In fact, he scored 6 goals in 28 league games last season without playing the full 90 minutes in any of them. But he's still a very important player for the Bluebirds, and he has a chance straight away, but the volley goes wide.
Yeah, reacted really well to that cross. Got there. Abruzzi with a great ball in, and really had a better contact that there on target. Would have definitely troubled Fuller.
Just mentioned the Cymru under-21 side. Owain Jones, former Cymru under-21 international over a decade ago now. Also played for the under-19s when he was with the Swansea City Academy. Second goal at this point for the home side. You feel would have ended that as a contest. Will Hughes into the area looking for that second goal. Great tackle by Ian Jenkins.
A lovely run by Hughes, though.
Ricky Watts. Now to Abruzzi. Abruzzi towards the front post. And Will Hughes again. And the header wide this time. Yeah, right at the centre of things at the moment, Will Hughes. This is the first chance he had.
Created by himself, really. Actually defending there, though, by Williams. Jenkins, rather.
Slid in at exactly the right time. Had to time it perfectly, and it would have been a penalty. Cal McCarthy. Take the throw in, right on halfway. Owain Jones just come on. Cal Kenneth tried to give the ball back to him. Alex Gammond had read the situation. Foul by Kyle McCarthy that time. Will Fuller is coming way out of his penalty area to hit this one down the field. Formerly with Cardiff Met, Will Fuller. He played association football there and also American football during his time with the university side. Lovely ball forward. Owain Jones.
Oh.
Maybe had too much time to think about it. It's a fine ball forward from Corey Shepherd.
Again, Shepherd, brilliant ball that splits the Ferry defence. He really could have slipped in to Kyle Kenniford, who's impressed me this afternoon. Kenniford, really busy player, rarely wastes the ball, but Owain Jones really, you know, something you were talking earlier as well, what were you about when you 1v1 against the goalkeepers, you just didn't think he was going to score somehow there.
Maybe caught in two minds. Corner towards the far post. Good strong fist by Will Fuller to get the ball away. Hawkins with a cross. Ricky Watts tried to get his head to it, couldn't. McCarthy hits the ball cross field. Second ball falls to Greg Walters. Gammond Chips it forward between two of his teammates. More changes coming for the visitors. Corey Hereford, you understand, is about to come on to take Kieran Williams' place. Corey Hereford has 3 goals this season, but hasn't found a net since the 1st of November. In fairness, he did miss some of the season with injury. And then Ryan George is the other player who's coming on. Number 18. Actually joined Briton Ferry Llansawel from Haverfordwest about 3 years ago now. It's Luke Cooper who's left to make room for him.
Got nothing to lose.
Have to go for it now. Less than a quarter of an hour to go. So tight, and you feel a point would be a better result for Briton Ferry Llansawel than it would be for Haverfordwest, especially as things stand at the moment, with the home side with a goal advantage. Dylan Rees hits it forward, somewhat aimlessly that time. And here come the visitors. Rio Dayo with a little pass to Mitchell Bates. Hereford cuts inside. Good defending by Haverfordwest. Gammon stepping forward now, though. Tom Walters turns. Gammon falls. Big shout for the penalty, but nothing doing. There's Alex Gammon on the charge. See it again.
Yeah, Walters slips him in. No.
Well, it was Gammon that got to the ball first. I think maybe Dan Hawkins had actually pretty much pulled out of the challenge before he tripped over the Briton Ferry Llansawel captain. Lewis Bates. It's the ball back to his goalkeeper. Tom Price steps out of the back, crosses the halfway line, unopposed. On to Tom Walters. Walters, he was trying to chip it over the top for Sam Snaith. There's too much on it. Owen Jones, little touch to Shepherd. Kyle Kenneford inside him.
Oh.
Pass back out, does reach Shepherd in the end. Great play by Shepherd there. Fine Kenneford. Shepherd again in the penalty area. 3 black shirts around him. Gives you some idea of the problems he can pose defences. Good play. Hawkins. Shepherd's curling cross. Beyond everyone. Brucey went to ground rather dramatically. And again, no penalty.
Yeah, it's good defending there by Briton Ferry.
Ashley Watkins coming on for Kyle Kenneford. The latest change for the home side. Ashley Watkins, another member of the Haverfordwest County youth team. I played in the UEFA Youth League at the beginning of the season. Actually scored for that development team against Podgorica. As captain of that side in the 2 games they played. He's on for the last 10 minutes or so. Midfielder on for the midfielder. Straight swap.
Yeah, it's nice to see youngsters be given an opportunity by Tony Pennock. You know, they've had a successful youth team over the last couple of seasons, and he's not afraid to throw them into the first team. And you know, this afternoon, you know, it's a big game, and he's thrown two on. So
two 18-year-olds.
Yeah, shows you know, confidence in the system.
Seen the impact that Will Hughes has made since coming on at half-time. Tom Walters brings the ball down on halfway. Tries to hit the ball out wide towards Hereford. Hawkins got in the way. Some room now for Greg Walters to step forward. Finds Hughes. Hughes with a cross, just too high for Owain Jones. First touch for Ashley Watkins. Again, the through ball, just a bit too strong.
Yeah, with all the changes they've made, positional-wise, you know, both teams look a little bit suspect now.
We'll have highlights of this game and all the rest of the action from a busy weekend of Welsh football. Also have the goal of the month competition for March. It's Monday night on S4C at 25 to 10. Plenty to see then. Will we have another goal from this game to show? Just the one so far, and it's gone the Bluebirds' way. Lewis Bates. Snaith with the header on. There's no one in a black shirt ahead of him. Ivan Knott. Puts his laces through that one, launches it down the field. Kian Jenkins. It's a good idea by Mitchell Bates. Well, the pass forward wasn't accurate enough.
Keeper
clearance. Hits Rio Dyer and goes out for a throw-in. That worked out well for the Haverfordwest County goalkeeper.
Yeah, he had to do that in a bit of a hurry though.
Vicky Watts throw. Got down by Owain Jones. Hit forward towards Will Hughes. Is that a trip? Yes, it was. The referee thought about it for just a second.
I think probably the goal sums up the game. Scrappy. It's been a lot of stop-start in the second period, and that obviously favours the home side. We've got that one-goal advantage.
Yeah, we expected it to be tight. There's only a goal in it through 29 rounds of fixtures before kick-off this afternoon. But if it stays like this, Haverfordwest will pull 3 points clear in that all-important 7th position in the table with 2 games to play. Qualification for Europe will be in their hands then. For the European playoffs, I should say. Again, getting ahead of myself a bit. Shepherd does find the Brucey. We do feel Haverfordwest would be quite a threat in those playoffs, having won that end of season mini tournament 12 months ago. And some of the teams in the top 6, like Carnarvon, not on the best of runs. They might not need the playoffs, of course. They've got a cup final coming up.
It's quite interesting for me. I think Tony Pennock's mentioned in the last few weeks that his players look tired. Now, they've had a long season, started off, had only had 3 weeks off from the previous season, and if they go to the playoffs, you're virtually playing 52 weeks a year, and that is a lot of football for most of the lads, you know, part-time. So it is, people don't always appreciate that.
Well, definitely. And we're seeing, maybe because of that, some of the younger players stepping in, playing a big part in the first team at this point of the season. George, back to Walters, curls one in towards the far post. Rio Dyer got his foot to it as he fell. Ball straight into the arms of Ivan Ott, and there wasn't a foul there. Not much of a claim either from Rio Dyer, the number 7.
Yeah, I guess on the inside of the defender there. Just couldn't get any purchase on that effort.
In some ways, the cross seemed to just hang on the wind slightly too long for Rio Dyer's liking. It's going to be another change for Haverfordwest. Young Harry Thomas comes on. He has actually a single Cymru Premier goal to his name. He scored it late on in that defeat that Haverfordwest County suffered here against Briton Ferry back in January. And he's actually come on to take the place of Will Hughes. A substitute comes on, claims his first Cymru Premier goal, and then leaves the fray with a couple of minutes to go. Don't think he'll mind too much if the Bluebirds hold on.
No, but it's a little bit disappointing, isn't it, as a youngster, getting pulled off. But it's one of his teammates from the youth team that comes on instead of him, so he'll probably accept that. Well, really, he hasn't got much choice, has he?
And having scored the only goal of the game, he knows that it's a tactical substitution. It's not that he hasn't proved his worth for the side in the, 40 minutes he had on the field. Shots for Llansawel, slight deflection on it. Maybe took the sting out of the effort and made it easier for Ivan Ott. Corey Herford, who let fly. Owain Jones keeps the ball alive. Shepherd couldn't get there. There's a foul. And the free kick taken to the wrong place. I think Alex Gammon knew that was coming as well. That's why he's so frustrated. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go. Briton Ferry Llansawel still looking for that goal, which at this point would surely secure a vital point for them. Price with a cross towards Snaith. Snaith's header. It was Kyle McCarthy who was under it to get it away as far as Tom Price. Everyone in the blue shirts behind the ball, as you'd expect at this point. Not the best defensive header by Dylan Rees, though. And Sam Snaith jumped in. Actually, that was pretty messy by Sam Snaith. Caught the Haverfordwest captain. Dylan Rees is out, or down out of the picture, but the free kick has been given Briton Ferry Llansawel's way for this earlier foul. Yeah. Greg Walters just slipped, I think.
Yeah, slipped at the wrong time. But first of all, is a poor defensive header by Dylan Rees that put them under pressure. Sure, this is going to be one of the best positions they could have. Maybe a little bit too close, but let's see what they come up with here.
It's 5 in the defensive wall for Haverfordwest.
Cian Jenkins.
Cian Jenkins preparing to take the kick. Alex Gammon is there as well. It is Jenkins. Disappointing, really. Got under it. Couldn't get it back down, having beaten the wall. Was a bit close in, but you would have expected better.
Yeah, you'd be hoping that Andy Dye would be hoping at least to hit the target there, make the keeper make a save.
As you can see from the graphic, in the top corner of your screens, there's 5 minutes to go. 5 additional minutes. We're into the first of those now.
Well, we did envisage a close game at the start of this game encounter, and that's how it's panned out.
Well, at this point of the season, it's the 3 points that are vital. More important, really, than any kind of performance. Hasn't been the greatest game, really. The Haverfordwest will be happy enough if they pick up the victory. How to defend for another 3.5 minutes if they are to secure the 3 points. Alex Gammond in the centre circle, looking to launch another attack for the visitors. Tom Price with him.
The slow build-up just helps Haverfordwest to get organised defensively.
Price chips it forward. Kyle McCarthy with a defensive header as far as Gammond. Bates receives the ball back. Tom Walters got there first. Chipped it across, didn't get enough purchase on it to find Sam Snaith, however. Rio Dyer. Corey Herford decided to go to the byline. Got too much on it, and the ball harmlessly out for a goal kick.
Yeah, wrong decision there. That ball needed to be delivered into the penalty area. Time running out for Andy Dyer's team now. But obviously, if the scoreline stays the same, Haverfordwest in pole position, but still some tricky games to go for them. Flint away. Players probably playing for the place in the final.
That'll be Flint's last game before the cup final. It's coming up in just 2 weeks now. The Welsh Cup final between Flint Town United and Carnarvon Town. Huge occasion that's going to be for both sides. So I suppose that could work either way, as Tommy mentioned. Flint Town United players will definitely be playing for their place in that final. But the last game before the final, I've seen them before. Being a Swansea City fan, I remember the week before Swansea won the English League Cup back in 2013. We were defeated 5-0 in a league game at Anfield. A lot of reserves playing that day. So the other school of thought is, well, you save your best players for the final, for the big game. And if that happens, it could work in Haverfordwest's favour. Not suggesting that it will happen, of course. Mitchell Bates turns into 2 Haverfordwest players, but wins a free kick as he does so. There's going to be a yellow card. It's Ricky Watts.
Will Fuller's up.
Yellow eventually when he gets back to his feet.
Last throw of the dice here. Will Fuller's up in the attack.
There we are, nothing to lose now. Only 30 seconds of the 5 additional minutes to go. Surely this, as Tommy said, will be the last roll of the dice. Imagine if Will Fuller scores now after conceding that goal. Pandemonium here. Kian Jenkins to take the kick, needs to be a good one from Briton Ferry Llansawel's point of view. Towards the back post, knocked back in and cleared off the line. Some of the visiting players claiming that it crossed the line, it hadn't. And Briton Ferry Llansawel don't have a goalkeeper, but Jenkins rushed back there to make the vital defensive contribution. We'll see that chance again.
Yeah,
don't think it did cross the line, Tommy.
No, I didn't. But keeper did really well then. But who comes in there? Defending, clears it. Whoa. What a dramatic finish.
The goalkeeper, he could have gone anywhere. Dan Hawkins has received the yellow card for something. Who knows what at this point. And that's it. Haverfordwest do hang on and claim what could be a vital victory in the race to secure a spot in the end of season European playoffs. It's a tight game, start-stop affair, messy at times. Just the 1 goal in it, and it came from a cross from young Will Hughes. We'll see it again. Something of a controversial moment. Cross caught in the wind a bit, and Will Fuller under pressure from Corey Shepherd dropped the ball over his line.
on 5:15 p.m.
And the goal stood, and it was enough to secure the 3 points for Haverfordwest. Did they deserve 3 points, Tommy?
Yes, I mean, on the whole, I think obviously at the end there's a great opportunity for Ferry to equalise, but certainly probably over the 90 minutes just been slightly the better side in a scrappy affair, to be perfectly honest.
There we are, confirmation of the final score. Haverfordwest move 3 points clear of the chasing pack in the race to finish 7th. The final score at the Bridge Meadow Stadium, Haverfordwest County 1, Briton Ferry Llansawel 0.